Yeah. Your shoulders feel lighter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I know my, I still, they, you know, I was still doing some of the sports and stuff. See it?
Yeah. Well, that's good advice. I'll learn from
Yes,
Horse.
still doing.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
not really that bad.
Good evening, and welcome to the May 20th
Thank you.
Kingsport Board of Mayor and Alderman Business Meeting. I want to call this meeting to order. And first order of business is let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will lead, followed by invocation from Vice Mayor Duncan. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have a moment of silence followed by a word of prayer. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we humbly ask for your blessing over our city tonight. I ask for your wisdom and guidance for the decisions this board faces. Strengthen our resolve when choices are hard, and help us lead with compassion, clarity, and courage. I ask that you be with our first responders. Please watch over those who run toward danger and to protect them as they protect each and every one of us. Now, Father, be with us and guide us. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Recorder, please take the roll, please.
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker, Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 members are here, which means we have a quorum tonight. Mr. City Manager.
All right, Mayor, we have 3 recognitions on the agenda tonight, and we will begin with the Keep Kingsport Beautiful Awards. I'll ask Bonnie Depew from Dom Tar to come up and walk through the presentation.
All right. Well, first off, I would like to thank the Boehm Landscaping for sponsoring these awards, and then we'll get right to them. So the first house, do I need to change it? This first winner is the home of Gary and Shay Sproles, and she and her husband just bought this house and wanted to credit the previous owners, Joe and Kim Begley, for keeping the property's landscape so beautiful. The yard features a variety of colorful flowers and shrubs, including azaleas and rhododendrons. Beautiful irises welcome visitors to the front door. This next home is Diana and Baron Hopper, and it is beautifully landscaped with lots of shrubs and trees, including dogwood trees, 3 Japanese maple trees, a Japanese cherry tree, azalea bushes, begonias, and clematis vines surround the outdoor seating area. This property also features a blooming rhododendron bush and holly bushes. This next winner is the home of Tamara Roller. This home features a well-maintained landscaping, an inviting seating area with a yellow umbrella and chairs with yellow cushions on one side of the house. On the other side is a yellow birdhouse that's on top of a pole. This is the home of Julie Cavan. This home features lovely 25-year azaleas, a variety of shrubs, monkey grass, and vinca. The backyard has a pool surrounded by various flowers. And this is our church winner, Shades of Grace United Methodist Church. This church displays a large wooden cross adorned with bright, beautiful flowers to celebrate Easter. The sidewalk was very clean and clear of debris. The church staff and volunteers worked diligently to keep the exterior welcoming to those that they serve. This storefront ministry offers multiple worship services, community meals, and other services for those in need. And then here we have the Lane Garden Baptist Church. This church also displayed across the flowers for Easter, and the property is well kept, well maintained, and very clean. And then our redevelopment award is for Black Heart Salon. The salon's owner has used her bold imagination to redevelop this once underutilized property. The salon's sleek, here's the before picture. Sleek design breathes a new life into the space, combining modern flair with an unexpected artistic touches that surprise and delight visitors at every turn. From striking finishes to thoughtfully curated details, Blackheart Salon stands out as a vibrant example of how creative vision and design forward thinking can redefine a space and energize a community. I guess there's more. All right, and at this time, I'd like to ask the award winners to stand and be recognized, please. Stand up.
Right, at this time, Mayor Montgomery would like to welcome Ron Cottaspati up to the podium to recognize amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, Awareness Month.
I'm sure many of us, if not all of us in here, know someone who was a victim of ALS. And so I think it's appropriate tonight if the team would come up and stand here. You've got nice T-shirts on, and they all of Team Cottaspati. So let's have them all standing here with us tonight. City of Kingsport proclamation. Whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a progressive fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with their muscles, slowly reducing a person's ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. And whereas thousands of new ALS cases are reported every year, and estimates show that every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS and someone passes away from ALS. Whereas, on average, patients diagnosed with ALS survive only 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis. And whereas the exact causes of ALS are unknown, and there is no known cure for ALS. Whereas people who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service. Whereas securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is of vital importance to people living with ALS. And whereas ALS Awareness Month provides an opportunity to increase public awareness of the dire circumstances of people living with ALS, acknowledge the terrible impact this disease has on those individuals and their families, and support research to eradicate the disease. Now, therefore, I, Paul W. Montgomery, Mayor of the City of Kingsport, and on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as ALS Awareness Month in the City of Kingsport, and encourage the city residents to join in celebrating ALS research, advocating for increased funding, and standing in solidarity with those affected by this relentless disease. So let's all join together in support. Thank you.
Was Ron going to say
Ron's
something?
gonna say something.
This disease has really been something that has impacted my family. March 5th of 2020, the trajectory of our lives changed forever. The day that my father received his diagnosis for ALS. He ran half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, and he did it with a like-minded group of runners. After the diagnosis, he had the honor to run another race with in the cart of another ALS patient in the late Dr. Josh Wandell, a principal at Eastside Elementary School. Paul continued to run in his own race cart until December 2023, and by Christmas, he was bedridden and never left the bedroom. Unfortunately, he passed away January 19th, 2024, after battling ALS for 3 years, 10 months, and 14 days. Thank you, Mayor Montgomery, for allowing me to have this chance, and thank you to the board for bringing this to notice. We really need this disease to stop. It shouldn't be a death sentence. It should be something that they can live on for as much as they can. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
To recognize National Public Works Week, I want to ask Alderman George to go to the podium, and representing the various aspects of our public works, Alderman George will be joined by Randy Johnson and Jeff Salyer representing grounds maintenance, Joe Reynolds and Joe Brisky representing streets, Randy
Y'all
Frazier.
have to come up here when he calls
Yeah,
you.
come
Don't
on
think
up.
I'm here by myself. Y'all are my people. So, yeah,
Randy
come
Frazier
on.
representing street sweeping, Jason Castle representing organic refuse, Chris Coffey representing trash and yard waste, Mickey Morlock representing our landfill, and Elena Gage, who keeps Tim Elsey in line.
Which is a lot.
Yes.
So it's hard to follow all you guys, because mine is like a great recognition, because, you know, we're not allowed to have favorite departments and stuff, but y'all are my people, and I truly appreciate what you do. And, you know, I know it's pouring down rain earlier, and you all are probably glad you get to be here, because half the time we have bad weather and terrible things happen, or, you know, whole pipes explode over by me and things like that. You guys are the ones that get up, get out there, get the job done, are wonderful to all the citizens when you're knee-deep in whatever, and they stop and ask you crazy things or just want to visit when you're in the middle of stuff. You also keep our water clean. You make my toilet flushes every time I need it to. I really appreciate that. The landscaping right now, I cannot tell you how many people have said, Kingsport looks beautiful. I mean, our landscaping right now, I know God's watering and we're grateful, but it really looks great. And, you know, every little thing you guys do, and I know it's Public Works Day is Friday, and that's the only day that Chris allows me to play with any of the equipment that you guys get to use. And I think you'll have really cool equipment. But we really, as a board, as a city, as a community, truly appreciate what you all do. And I know you don't always get, you know, nor do you want, that's why I made you come up here, you don't want the spotlight, you don't want to be out there talking about all this, but our world would not be the same without you all, and we truly appreciate you, and I get to read a proclamation to say how much we appreciate you, and I'm going to do this. So, this proclamation, whereas public works infrastructure, facilities, and service are vitally important to the health, safety, and economy and overall well-being of our community, and such facilities services could not be provided without the dedicated effort of public works professionals, engineers, and administrators representing all levels of government who are responsible for and must plan, design, construct, operate, and maintain, which I guess means fix, the public works facilities essential to serve our citizens, and the efficiency of the quality and dedicated personnel who staff public works function is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work you perform. It is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Kingsport to learn and understand the importance of vital public work programs such as drinking water, sanitation and storm sewer, streets and highway, public building, and solid waste collection and disposal. So whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by American Public Works Association, Paul Montgomery, the mayor, and all of us BMA people hereby proclaim May 18th through 24th as Public Works Week and we hope that this, we call upon all of our citizens and civic leaders in the community to gain knowledge of and maintain a progressive interest in the public works needs and programs vital to our everyday lives, and to recognize the daily contributions which public works officials make to ensure our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. You all get a whole week out of a whole year for us to say thank you, and that we appreciate you. But I do appreciate you, and they all appreciate you, so thank you for what you do. Nobody wants to come talk? Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate you. Do anybody want you want to have our proclamation? Sure. There, take that with you.
We'll be by to make sure it's hanging on the wall next week.
Thank you all. This is part of our meeting that we set aside for public comment. And this is where, when you can come to the podium, state your name, write your name there with your address, and we would appreciate any comments that you make be non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. And a total of 30 minutes is allocated for this time. I always like to make sure that people know that don't expect us to respond to anything that you say from the podium. We'll be glad to talk to you before the meeting, after the meeting, or anytime you need to see us and talk to us. We're accessible. Thank you very much. Mr. City Manager.
All right. First item is consideration of an appointment to the Neighborhood Advisory Commission. I ask that you approve the appointment of Teresa Ann Fanning to the Neighborhood Advisory Commission, fulfilling an unexpired term.
You've seen the resume of Ms. Fanning, and so I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? All in favor of the appointment, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? The appointment is made 7-0. The City Manager.
All right, next is the approval of minutes, first from the May 5th, 2025 work session, the May 6th, 2025 business meeting, the May 12th, 2025 budget work session, and the May 15th, 2025 budget work session. Ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
You have the minutes before you, May 5th, May 6th, May 12th, May 15th. We've been busy this month. May I have a motion for approving the minutes?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved, 7-0. The City Manager.
All right, there is no public hearings on the agenda tonight, as item 9-1, action 140 for the Cooks Valley Road rezoning was pulled by the owner. So that then takes us to the next item, which is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 25 general purpose school fund and general projects fund budgets. This comes to us from the Board of Education, and as will be the case with the next several items, there is an attachment identified as BOE Budget Amendment Number 5 for fiscal 25 that outlines not only the one in front of you, but also the next 2 or 3. For that, we'd ask that you approve the ordinance on first reading.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ordinance is approved, 7-0. The City Manager.
Next item is consideration of ordinance to amend the fiscal 25 school nutrition services fund budget. Again, the attachment stated earlier provides a detailed description of this. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on first reading, please.
Mr. Attorney, would you please publish?
An ordinance to amend the School Nutrition Services Fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
We know, did the schools get the federal grant again this year to have free lunch for?
Felt like that's what they mentioned the other day in their meeting that they did, so yes. My understanding.
Other discussion, comments? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 25 school federal projects fund budget. We ask that you approve this ordinance. First reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025 School Federal Grant Projects Fund budget and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
You know, I'll just mention I love to see the John Adams Playground. The PTA has made a donation for improvements, for additional improvements, and I love it when parents are involved like that in the education system. So I applaud them for that.
Any other comments or discussion?
Well, I better add that there's a Washington playgrounds in there as well.
Put it in there, brother.
Landry's pushing hard for that new playground equipment at Washington.
Okay.
We're in there.
I was hoping you'd tag on to that.
Bring his check.
Okay. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 25 school special projects fund budget. Yes, you approve this on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025 School Special Projects Fund budget and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving into other business. The first item is consideration of a resolution to amend the TDOT agreement for the West End Greenbelt Extension. This is a project that we have been working on and very much in the planning stages in conjunction with TDOT. Historically, we've received grants to be able to build various sections of the Greenbelt. This is actually MPO funded, and so it will move through a process much like any other project with design, right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation if necessary, and then moving on into construction. The purpose of this agreement tonight is to simply to extend the completion date until December 31st of 2027. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution for this extension.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an amendment to agreement number 190096 with the Tennessee Department of Transportation to extend the project deadline for the West End Greenbelt Extension Project, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing an agreement for architectural and engineering services for the Washington Elementary School HVAC replacement with Holston Engineering. This is the first step in order to do the necessary design and then the bid documents. That would be for the bidding of this chiller, which we anticipate to be later in the year. Goal is to obviously get this up more than likely as we move into this time next year. So this is coming to us from the Board of Education, requesting that we move forward with the execution of this agreement for this project. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for architectural and engineering services for the Washington Elementary School HVAC replacement project with Holston Engineering and any and all of documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
The PTA could not raise this much. We tried.
It amazes me, the cost of
Yeah.
an HVAC for, I mean, I know it's a big elementary school, but I mean, just the study is this much, and then, you know, it amazes me, the cost.
Is this how long do they last usually? The school opened at about 93. So is this the first time they've had to replace it, or is it?
It's about 90.
This is the,
Randy
yeah,
was 3 and she was what?
from the peanut gallery, they were shaking their head, yes.
This is the first time they've replaced it, so
It has lasted 30,
Okay.
I thought
30
that's
years.
what,
About 32 years or so?
I thought Dr. Hampton kind of mentioned that one.
This is estimated to be about a $3 million expenditure. You know, we were very fortunate with the ESSER dollars that came in. A lot of those HVAC units were replaced. Many of them put in back in the 90s with a large capital contribution from the city at that time to make that happen.
Chris, I didn't see, and you may not know offhand, how long will it take to get this put in? Is it like back ordered? Is it going to take a while to get it in before it's put in?
Yeah, so we're anticipating that the design and then the order being placed, I would anticipate construction around this time next year, if not
Yeah.
before. We are obviously looking at the $3 million cost for this in our capital budget, and the anticipated timeline is to kind of push that off sometime in January is when we would go out to bid for that. So it should hopefully time up very well for the construction or installation of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Comments? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving the purchase of textbooks and other curriculum materials by Kingsport City Schools and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase and blanket orders for the same. This action will authorize two things. First is the issuance of a purchase in fiscal '25, and you see that outlined. Then also in that second paragraph, we talk about the need to issue a blanket order moving into fiscal '26 for the remaining materials. And so this is one of those, from a budgetary standpoint, the timing of this allows them to do the necessary things, to have the material in place by the time school starts, and then getting additional material that they might need to support the school year. So again, this comes to us from the Board of Education, and request is that we approve the resolution. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of textbooks and other curriculum materials by Kingsport City Schools and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders and a blanket order for the same.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing a blanket order for copy paper from Tennessee State Contract. This will be used by not only the city of Kingsport, but also Kingsport City Schools. See the award there and the various different sizes. Estimated cost of around $90,000. We ask that you approve the resolution authorizing this purchase for fiscal '26.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a blanket order for the purchase of copy paper to American Paper and Twine utilizing Tennessee State Contract Number 77326 for use by various city and school departments.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution renewing the award of the bid for unleaded gasoline and ultra-low sulfur diesel. This was a bid that we actually put out in April of 2022, the opportunity to renew, assuming both parties were in agreement. See the markup from the rack price listed there. This will be purchased on an as-needed basis throughout the entire year, used by both the City of Kingsport and Kingsport City Schools. I ask you to approve the resolution authorizing the renewal of this award for fiscal '26.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for the purchase of ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel and renewing the award of bid for purchase of unleaded gasoline for use in city equipment and vehicles to Petroleum Traders Corporation and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution renewing the award of the bid for propane and propane conversion kits. This has been awarded to Blossman, who has had this bid for some time. Again, this was a bid going back to 2018. Much like the previous one, the opportunity to continue terms that can be agreed upon by both parties. You see the markup there, which is no increase. And this again will be for fiscal '26, used by both the Kingsport City Schools and the City of Kingsport. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for the purchase of propane auto gas and propane conversion kits for use in city equipment and vehicles to Blossman Gas and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Phillips.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution awarding the bids for equipment and light, medium, heavy-duty automotive repair services. So this would cover all the various vehicles that we would need to send outside from our own fleet maintenance department for work. You see the bid tab that is listed there. This sets us up for over the next 3 years to use a variety of companies depending on who we might need, depending on the type of vehicle we might need. You see the labor rates there that will be held during the 3-year period, assuming the bids are awarded. Again, we cannot fix it in-house. We have contracts set up with these agencies to send our equipment to. So that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution awarding the bids.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bids for various equipment, medium and heavy-duty automotive repair services, as well as light-duty automotive repair services, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
Chris, what would be the reason we'd send a vehicle outside without having our own garage in-house?
Could be a warranty issue, so if it's warranty, we're going to send it back to whoever is authorized to do that warranty work. It could be a unique piece of equipment that we know there's better skill sets outside, and it could be a simple situation of just a timeliness of getting it back on the road based upon the backlog that we might have.
We do the large majority of the work in-house, though.
The majority of the work we are able to do. We've got 2 shifts that working down there servicing well over 1,000 pieces of equipment and various different sizes. Have occasionally, though, that need to send a certain piece of equipment outside.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City manager.
Consideration of resolution to purchase one 2025 F-550 four-wheel drive with Duralift bucket truck for the Tennessee State Contract Number 84711. See the picture of this vehicle here. And I think it's important to note that we are replacing a 2012 vehicle and then also at the same time replacing a 1993 vehicle. So when I started here in 1997, John Gould, who was our traffic engineer at that time, I had been on the job maybe an hour. Took me down there and it showed me his pride and joy, which was that bucket truck, which we had not had in operation prior to that at a level that we needed. So we definitely got our use out of that one. We can't get parts for it anymore. And we'll put the one from 12 in as a backup role, and this one will move into the primary role. So, Mayor, ask that you award the purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of one 2025 F-550 four-wheel drive with Duralift bucket truck from Lonnie Cobb Ford utilizing Tennessee State Contract Number 84711, and authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for the same.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. 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 Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a letter of consent and all documents necessary and proper to apply for a clean water revolving loan from the state of Tennessee for the Reedy Creek Trunk Line Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project from Lovedale to Clinchfield. This is estimated to be a $6 million loan. Ryan, Mayor, I guess I'll let you put it on the floor and then any questions for Ryan.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a letter of consent and all documents necessary and proper to apply for a clean water revolving loan from the state of Tennessee for the Reedy Creek Trunk Line Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Comment?
Ryan came up here. Let's go ahead and explain the project to us.
All right, I was itching to, so thank you. As the board has heard our presentations in the wintertime describing our utilities, and then as we go into budget, we talk about a few different things. One is the age of our infrastructure. That's a pressure on the systems, all systems. Another is regulatory environment. This is one of those projects, a long-term project, that really both of those come into play. The very first phase of this was when we replaced the sewer line that was one of the original sewer lines, the trunk line from downtown to the plant. And probably about 6-7 years ago, I think it was, from the plant to Sullivan Street was the first phase, very large project. The second phase will be going from where we ended there to what you can see on the map, a location near, I guess you would call it the Greenbelt parking lot near Holston Valley. And again, the intent is to replace one of the oldest and largest trunk lines that's next to a creek. So the age of the infrastructure, as it ages and as the rains come, water gets into the sewer lines and causes us to have violations of our permits. So that's where those two things kind of meet. So this is a phase one of a multi-phase project replacing the trunk line from that plant or Sullivan Street now all the way to John B. Dennis over time. Where the citizens will probably see it mostly is how we will be working with the Greenbelt use to ensure that we can get people around it, but it will be heavy impacts. This one won't be as bad as possible future projects with the impact to the Greenbelt. But over the next few years, you'll be able to see the progress of construction as we move up the Greenbelt toward John B. Dennis. The Greenbelt's next to the creek, so is our trunk line sewer. Happy to answer any questions. And I will mention the reason we're asking you all to apply for an SRF loan. This is a mechanism EPA uses that moves money to help finance at a very low cost those necessary things we need to do for the betterment of the environment and for our ability to replace that aged infrastructure.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Ron.
Oh, yep.
Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next is consideration of a resolution to purchase golf equipment for cattails from STI. Last night, Michael Borders walked through the reasoning for purchasing versus what we've historically done, which is a lease. The reason we're not doing the lease is that the lease would expire with Marriott Golf, or our agreement would expire with Marriott Golf before the lease would end. Also, the ability to purchase, recognizing they will last beyond the 5-year period, we've determined to be more affordable based upon the rate that we anticipate getting. This also allows us to use a lot of this equipment, if necessary, off-site, which I can tell you would be a huge help, especially for the parks maintenance group. And so we're bringing this to you today for the purchase. We will then come back very soon for you to authorize the funding to be set up for this. So, Mayor, with that, we'd ask you to approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the proposal of Smith Turf and Irrigation LLC for maintenance equipment for Cattails Golf Course and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to initiate a recipient-to-recipient asset transfer for the former CATS facilities. Located over on 109 Clay Street, 222 West Main, as well as 121 Clay Street, are the buildings that were formerly occupied by the Kingsport Area Transit Service. All the way back in 1999, there was an initiative to purchase the building there on Main Street to be a co-location between transit and higher education. Right down the street was a daycare, which is all part of the transit, child care, and education initiative that was taking place at that time. From there, the academic village grew, as did the Kingsport Area Transit Service. Over the last several years leading up to the construction, we realized that there would be a need to release these assets, first from FTA and TDOT, and then from the city of Kingsport. Northeast State, who has a tremendous presence within our downtown, has expressed interest in this space for new programming that they would be bringing. As is the case with most federal projects, there's several steps that we must step through. And the first is to initiate this transfer. This is the first step. We'll send this back to FTA and TDOT. They will then respond back and authorize us to proceed with the sale. And that time, that would also be coming back to you all. So this is step one. We'd appreciate your approval to initiate this transfer.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper with the Federal Transit Administration and the Tennessee Department of Transportation to permit disposition of former Kingsport Area Transit Service facilities, expressing the intent of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to establish one or more project accounts in an ordinance restricting funds to effectuate the purpose of this resolution and to affix the effective date of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George.
Although I think we should make him read that again.
Huh.
Faster. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution adopting the 2025 strategic plan. As you all have been very much a part of this, this goes all the way back to August of 2024. A consulting firm named Ralph Tellis came on board. They began working individually with board members. They then began having conversations with the Kingsport leadership team. From there, we had a couple of joint sessions where we talked about what are those goals and objectives for the city of Kingsport and what are the things that we as a city want to do over the next 3 to 5 years. From there, we took the document and we pushed it out to our citizens where we were told, hey, you'll be lucky if you get 500 people. Over 2,000 people responded with very, very favorable ratings of each one of these strategic focus areas, saying that, yes, we did have what they wanted to see. Approval of this document allows us then to move forward with implementing the various aspects of the strategic plan in all forms of our operations, whether that is within various city departments, through the budget process involving the board, mayor, and aldermen, strategic capital planning, working with our community partners, and then especially as we go through each and every one of our board meetings, we'll be able to illustrate to you the various different components that we are approving or asking you all to approve and tracing that back then to our strategic plan. It has involved a tremendous amount of your time, as you all know. It has been one of the many things that I have asked you all to work on in fiscal 25. It was very much necessary as really the last true strategic plan that we had done, probably dated back 20-some years ago. And so this was time to set that one to the side, celebrate the success we had with that, but to look out onto the horizon and ask ourselves where we want to go. I will tell you this document is very fluid, as we will see things that we may want to remove from it, things that we may want to add to it. But I think it's a document that we will continue to work towards to ensure that we can meet as many of these goals and objectives as possible, and to also encourage those that work alongside us within the community to strive towards meeting those as well. Again, I want to say how much I appreciate the time you all have given. I know that was often some long days. Some of y'all had to take vacation days to make that happen, and I greatly appreciate the time, as well as the time that the leadership team spent working on this as well. So it has very much been a collective effort between the board, the staff, and our citizens. So, Mayor, I ask that you approve the resolution adopting the 2025 strategic plan.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution to adopt the strategic plan for the city of Kingsport.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'll say we had a lot of discussion about the vision statement, and I appreciate work that was done on that to marry up what we had, our desire was with what staff was looking at. So I appreciate that.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution adopting the 2025 strategic plan, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Strategic plan is adopted, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Very good. Next item is consideration of a resolution accepting a donation from the Friends of Allendale for a balustrade replacement at Allendale Mansion. This is a $55,000 donation. It allows us to complete the rebuild of some work that we were doing around the roof and some of the deteriorating balustrades that were there. Unfortunately, when these bids came in, we weren't able to move forward with an alternate that allowed us to do this. Very much, though, appreciate the donation from the Friends of Allendale. Alderman George is a member of that, and so this will now allow us to move forward with that. The contractor is honoring the price that he provided in the bid document for that particular alternate, so we'll be able to, with your approval, move forward and get this thing done. Shortly after July, begin the work, and I believe it's about a 90-day completion.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution accepting a donation from the Friends of Allendale for balustrade replacement at Allendale Mansion.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
This is why it's important, some of their fundraisers they do, to be sure to attend as many of those you can, because they do use the fundraisers to give back to the city to.
We appreciate that donation.
And I appreciate the city because the city brought it to our attention that the funding wasn't there to do the full thing. And I think the members of Friends for Allendale, the board, we were in a position where they had the funds available. And so it was really great coordination because if we had to go back in later, the price probably would be more, and this way it can all be done together. So I really appreciate the staff for giving us a heads up of what was going on there. So organizations like this that want to assist the city in keeping something up and looking the way it looks, got the opportunity to use their money wisely.
Okay. Any other discussion, comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, that completes your agenda for tonight. We'll move into communications. First, probably steal this off many of y'all's lists. Public Works Week, Public Works Day is on Friday at the Farmers Market. Definitely encourage our citizens to go out there. It's a great opportunity to interact with the men and women who provide a very valuable service each and every day to the citizens of Kingsport. Events like this don't just happen. Saw Sheila back there earlier. I think she's already taken off, very smart. But Sheila is very instrumental in making that happen, so I really appreciate the work that she does, as well as everyone else within Public Works. They are going to go in, do their job that day, and still be able to come in and provide this opportunity for our citizens. And so, again, encourage everybody to be out there. We read the minutes earlier from what arguably has been a busy May. Those minutes didn't include last night's work session or tonight's business meeting, but I do greatly appreciate the amount of time that the board has given us as we've been working towards the fiscal 26 budget. I think I mentioned to you all back in February that we had really started working on the fiscal 26 budget dating all the way back to 2023, and it's been a process moving forward. Every single budget process has its own set of challenges. It presents different needs throughout our city, and I appreciate the reality that you guys have been so engaged in this entire process and recognize the needs that we have to be able to move our city forward. Next month, you will vote on the budget. And, just say I realize that that is something that each and every one of you all take extremely seriously, as do we. Recognize that every decision that is made has an impact on the lives and the businesses of our citizens, as well as the lives of our employees. So we appreciate the amount of detail and attention that you all look into this. Appreciate the conversations. Appreciate you asking us to sharpen our pencils and dig a little deeper. We realize that every single one of us loves this city, and everything that we're doing is to better our city. It's an honor to work with a board that shares that, to work alongside a city staff that reflects that as well each and every day. Mayor?
Thank you. Alderman Baker.
Mayor, I'm going to take my time, and I want to clarify my comments from yesterday's work session. First, I want to thank the city manager for the thoughtful work that went into revising the proposed property tax increase from 42 cents to 34 cents. I think now it's at 33. I think it's a meaningful improvement, and I very much appreciate city staff's work on the budget. I appreciate the effort to respond to concerns. I have, in my one-on-ones with the city manager, recommended that if a property tax is ultimately necessary, we should demonstrate that we've done everything possible to find savings within our existing budget. I think that shows the citizens that we're meeting them part of the way. City manager yesterday acknowledged that he'll find at least $500,000 or more in cuts next year, and I believe that we should begin that process now before we place a tax increase of this magnitude on the citizens. I fully recognize that the inflationary wage pressures which are affecting local governments are there. And I've seen that in some of the approvals that we made this year with the substantial increases. But I also know they're hitting every household, and citizens are making adjustments, and I believe that local government should do the same. When I ran, I stated that I remember during my lifetime when our roads were the best in the region, our police and fire were the best paid and the best funded, and our schools were the best in the region. And that's what my focus is. I believe that city staff need to be paid, and I believe that police and fire need to be the best paid in the region. 3 of those 4 areas are being looked at. I believe that the schools should be included back in the budget. These views that I have, I do not believe are anti-progress or anti-city. I believe it's responsible governance. In today's uncertain economy, every household is being squeezed. And Kingsport has a large population of residents on fixed incomes, with nearly a quarter of our citizens over age 60. We also know that nearly 1 in 4 of our children in our community live in poverty. And for those families, even a modest tax increase can mean hard choices. I already recognize that changes are needed. The city manager has recognized that, and he's expressed including exploring internal cuts next year, operational restructuring, and departmental savings. And we should challenge ourselves, I believe, to begin to find those savings in this year's budget. And that's not about halting progress or diminishing services our citizens have come to expect. I think it's about ensuring we pursue a budget with discipline, fairness, and a deep respect for the people that we serve. It's only my views, but I felt like I needed to clarify my comments from last night. So thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity.
Alderman Phillips.
Just a couple quick things. I hope everybody, if you haven't, go out and see, there's 2 new murals downtown, and the one at the comic book store is incredible. I mean, I saw the guy's name who's painting these, and I cannot remember off the top of my head. Joe what? Joe May. They are really adding to our downtown, and they're just can't say enough about how cool they look. And again, I'm partial to the one at the comic book store. It's really neat.
It is cool, yeah.
He does those with a spray.
Yeah.
Really?
It's amazing.
That's not Joe May, the attorney.
Does them really quick.
Wait your turn.
I was going to But the murals are with spray paint.
And then I'll add, school is out this week, so we are done Thursday. We got half day, and so school's out, so summertime, so lots of fun summer activities for kids. But we talked about something last night about the schools. You know, we were in the 42-cent budget, we were giving the schools $1 million. Now, in this new budget, we're not, but we are taking on some cost associated with some design stuff, so we're trying to help them out. But I just don't think that citizens truly understand what decisions at the county level are doing to our Kingsport City schools. We have lost $3.9 million in funding to our Kingsport City schools over the last few years. And that is crucial money. And the citizens of Kingsport are being asked to continue to bail the schools out is not the right word, but we're continuing to be the backstop, and the citizens, more pressure is being put on them because of decisions that are being made at the county level. And so I would just encourage citizens to have a conversation. If, there are county representatives who are City of Kingsport residents. Have a conversation with them and tell them how important the schools are to them, and to stop taking funding from the city schools year after year after year. Because as I think the mayor pointed it out last night, I mean, eventually it's going to get to a point where, we cannot just keep doing what we're doing. There's going to have to be some compromise or some, decisions made positively towards the city school system. And so I would just, as a parent of a city school member, I'm just very concerned about how much money in the last few years has been taken from the schools. So I would just like for that conversation to get started. I believe that we have a joint meeting with the county commissioners in next week, So I think that needs to be something that's brought up, but it's just, sometimes I don't think that citizens realize, you have county representation and you have city representation as well. And you need to communicate with both of those. That's all I got.
Alderman Cooper.
I went to a DKA meeting this morning, the Downtown Kingsport Association, and I get very excited this time of year, almost as excited as I do at Christmas in Kingsport, but not quite, of all the things that are starting to happen in our downtown. On June the 5th is the 50th anniversary for Carriage House. They've been in our downtown location, or two different locations, been in our downtown area for 50 years. So go out on the 5th and celebrate with the Carriage House. Also, June 5th, July 3rd, and August 7th is Shop and Hop. The Twilight Alive concert series starts May the 30th, and it goes every week until Fun Fest starts. The final food truck rally is going to be starting May the 30th, and it goes every Friday through August. The downtown Road Town promotion is around Father's Day. There's a lot of things happening. They did the same thing for Mother's Day. It was very well received. So they're doing all the stores downtown that sell men's merchandise or father's merchandise are going to have some promotions and some activities. Also, July 5th in downtown is a Red, White, and Boom. And July 19th is a downtown street fair. So you can go to the downtown, the DKA website and find all kinds of information about all the things that are going to be happening. And these rack cards are available at the chamber and different places around town. And there's a QR code that you can use on your phone and see all the activities so you don't miss anything. Also, there's going to be a ribbon cutting for Landry's Landing on July 4th.
Probably should have plugged that.
Yeah, you should have. on June the 4th. So there's a lot of things happening in our downtown. So don't go and look at the website or look at the rack cards so you don't miss anything. And also our library. Our library has moved now. Has it opened? I went to the mall and just happened to go there. I was really impressed. Michael was working and putting the shelves up, but it's really a lot larger than I thought it would be. It's so pretty soon the library in our mall is going to open while they redo our library downtown. So and I think you'll be surprised and pleasantly surprised when you see what it looks like in the mall.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick comments. Indeed, we are working on the budget, and it's been very informative. And I appreciate the city staff and the city manager for the abundance of information they've given us and well delivered, I will say. But I think James really makes a good point. And the $3.9 million our school lost was very devastating. It's a significant amount of money for our schools. And we've heard that in the budget presentations. Perhaps the board has heard it from parents. Certainly I have. Parents concerned about the funding and the budget cuts. But, one thing that's very real, and I'm glad we're having a meeting with the county commission next week because really it's the same taxpayer that we're representing and the county commission is representing. It's the same taxpayer that lives in the city. So I hope that we can use this as an opportunity to stop the bleed of our city school system and also improve our efficiencies between governments. What can we do together? Chris is faced with a lot of cuts over the next year, even though we've gone through this budget process or proceeding through the budget process. Next year is going to be a rough year, as Alderman Baker pointed out. So are there opportunities where we can work together for the same taxpayer? I think that should be explored more. Last comment, and other board members attended a ceremony Friday night in recognition of our fallen police officers in Sullivan County, Bristol, and Kingsport. I would just add that our law enforcement leaders from Chief Epps and Chief Austin and Sheriff Cassidy, TBI, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Homeland Security. A tremendous monumental recognition of our fallen officers, and it was well done, tastefully done, and well-deserved, and I just really appreciate that community coming together and recognizing the men and women and put their lives on the line for us daily to keep our community safe. So thank you, Mayor.
I'm going to tack on just a little bit what has been said on, I did serve as a county commissioner, and it was very eye-opening to me at the way they do their budget. And they do allot it by pennies of your property tax. And when we sit up here and say the schools lost $3.5 million, you know, the formula, they changed the formula to alter how many pennies went to the schools and how many pennies went other directions. A lot of citizens don't realize that if you live in the city, you pay the exact same county taxes based on the price of your home as you would if you lived just in the county. So we're all paying the same rate. When you live in the city, there are county services that you don't receive. You know, you are obviously, if something happens at your house and you need the police or the fire and you're in the city of Kingsport, the county sheriff's department or the county fire departments are not going to come. You know, we have our own police department here that we pay for and love those people. And, you know, you hope you don't need them, but they're there when you do. The highway department. In the county, the highway department paves the neighborhoods that are county only. We are always pushing paving here because the city, even though you're paying the same taxes, the county does not pave our roads or put any funding towards our paving. There are a lot of services that when you live in the county, you receive from the county out of your property taxes. When you live in the city, you don't receive those out of your county taxes, even though you're paying the same county taxes. The schools are split based on population in the school districts. So the money that they give to schools is here based on how many students are at Bristol, they get that percentage, how many at Kingsport, that percentage, and then the county based on their ratio. So what they did that caused us to lose the money was shift the funding from the schools to cover funding for the jails and the highway department and other departments, which dramatically hurt the city of Kingsport and the city of Bristol because of the level we fund our schools. When I served, every person in Kingsport assumed I represented them on the county. In the county, you have districts, and it is very important that when you're up there, a lot of the citizens that live close to where they meet, you know, more closer to Blounteville, they attend those meetings, they speak out. A lot of the public in Kingsport comes to us because they see us all the time. And we do hear daily from people. I've heard today from people on their opinion of the budget and, you know, you know, where their priorities are. And I think everybody here we talk to the citizens. But citizens need to know who their county rep is and reach out to them. I mean, I truly appreciate all the input I get from citizens of Kingsport. I really do appreciate hearing from people, being able to explain the budget. It makes a difference. On schools, you've got to reach out to your county commissioner. The schools board does a great job. We, as in our roles, can reach out, but the only people that they listen to really are the voters. And if I'm not in their district, I'm not one of their voters, and I don't matter as much as you do in their district. So you need to know who is your representative, make a phone call, and push that they need to put more pennies towards schools, because that's what benefits you in your district, because you don't benefit from the departments that don't fund where you live. And so it is very important that you speak to your representative You can go on their website and you'll find your district and know if you don't, because I said, so many people aren't aware of who their representative actually is. And some areas have 2 or 3. You need to talk to all of them. It makes a major difference if they hear from you. This is extremely important. I mean, obviously, it's hit our budget. It will continue to hit our budget. Everyone up here is pro-schools. Our schools are so important to us, and we truly care. But we also are limited in what funds we have, and that went on way too long, but it's very important. And I am very excited about Public Works Day because I have lots and lots of fun, and they let me do the bucket truck and do some of the other stuff. They will also let all your children do it, and they will feed them all lunch and play great games. That's it.
Vice Mayor.
I appreciate you saying that, Colette, about the commissioners. I've talked to some of our commissioners that represents our city, and then, you know, I had one say that they didn't realize that it would be such a negative effect on our city. So, you know, it's, we do need to have more discussion with them. We need to have our citizens talk to them. I appreciate Donna Whitaker coming yesterday and speaking to us. I know she's busy through the reappraisal process and has been over the last 6 weeks. So I do appreciate her spending time here, but I was still left with some uncertainty about our industrial and commercial and the personal property and the calculations of that. So that probably raised more questions than, in some ways, certainly I had that got answered for some of our industrial and commercial people here in town. And so I'd like to thank the city manager. I know you and the staff has worked super hard on our budget, and I know you spent hours on it and looking to make critical cuts. But, you know, I know these decisions haven't been easy. So I know you continue to look at that, plus all the different scenarios. And then this weekend is a number of graduating seniors from our local high schools, and so they will be out and about, I'm sure, this weekend. So we appreciate their accomplishments, but we hope that everybody is safe in that. And then finally, Memorial Day is coming up, and we certainly want to remember the ones that paid the ultimate sacrifice so we could have the freedoms that we enjoy here today. So we appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. I had the honor to participate last Friday night with the Fallen Officers Program. That was very significant, and Chief Phipps, thanks you for your role that you played in there, recognizing the fallen in the city of Kingsport. I want to say congratulations to the Dobbins Bennett baseball team for the postseason win advancement that they did, as well as softball team advancing. So congratulations to the team. I'm assuming track is still going strong, and so we support them as well. Last week was a very busy week, and I started out on Monday with a regional prayer service, which had about 1,700 people at Meadowview, well attended, and those organizers did a good job bringing the region together for prayer. So thank you for those. And since I vote last in our meetings, I'm going on record tonight that I'm supporting the modified budget. So count on me for a vote. Okay? This meeting's adjourned.